What's up, guys? And we're back for another episode of the Scaling Secret podcast hosted by Otter PR. Today, we have a very special guest again, and a very recurring guest. So he basically is part of the show at this point, him and Jay. And we're going to talk about something that's very crucial to your business. They talk about it at Funnel Hacking Live, Russell Brunson with ClickFunnels, and all the 2 Comma Club winners, and even higher than 2 Comma Club winners. So first, Scott, welcome to the show.
Happy to be here. Excited.
Awesome. And so Scott just went to Funnel Hacking Live, and they actually received the 2 Comma Club Award. So that's pretty awesome. Not very many people will get that, and the amount of people that are on ClickFunnels versus the amount of people that get those rewards is very slim. So it's like top 1% of people. So that's very remarkable. And during that time, they did speak on this specific thing that we're going to talk about. So Scott, why don't you tell them what we're going to talk about today?
Yeah, so first off, for you guys that don't know, the 2 Comma Club Award is for someone that makes over $1 million specific funnel. So basically, if you guys don't know what a funnel is, it's really just a platform to drive traffic to make sales. So think about a web page, a landing page, designed specifically for conversions. Mm-hmm. And so then you drive enough traffic there to make $1 million in sales. And so that's the whole concept behind that. And it's a really cool community that Russell's built, and he puts you into an elite group of marketers, and really his whole program is trained to get you to that point. But what I want to talk about is after you get an award like that, and it could not necessarily be this award, but any award. So if you think about universities, so I talked about the University of Florida with you earlier, every year they get placed based on where they rank for each college. So they're, I think the 4th best public school right now is the 4th or 5th, whatever it is. And so they get that by a third party. I don't know the company that gives them the award. It's whatever, it doesn't matter. Right. But what I want to talk about is what they do after. So they get, and we're a media company, so they get that publication, they get that success.
So hold on, real fast. Let's identify what is an award. How many forms of awards are there, and how many forms of awards can you actually advertise?
So there's hundreds of awards, and it doesn't even have to be an award. It could be a good review on Google.
Okay.
It could be as simple as basically what we're going to talk about is how to bring attention, how to hype a story, and to grow. So you can use this around product launches, you can use this around a good review, you can use this around getting the 2 Comma Club Award, you can use this around a feature article on you. So let's just say, I did this strategy when I got featured in Forbes, and what to do with that and how to then take that article and build some momentum off of it. So you have, a small success, and it could be literally anything, and anything in the world. It could just, again, be a product launch, but how to take that piece of success and then make that meaningful to your audience.
Got it. Okay. So let's say I get an award from, whether it's Costco or whether it's Google, and I have that reward, I have that 2 Comma Club award, and I'm a business startup. Maybe I have 10 employees, maybe I have 1,000 employees. What do I do from here?
Yeah, and I want to even go back. It could be as simple as LinkedIn Learning. You could finish a certification if you're a solo entrepreneur, and then get excitement about that certification, because what we're going to teach you is how to really build prestige around whatever you've done. And so we're basically taking what you've already done, your qualifications, and just making them look very impressive, and we're communicating to the audience how impressive that is. So if you think about the 2 Comma Club Award, one of the first things I did to you was explain what it was. So I had to tell you why it's cool, why it's important. So when I first got it, my girlfriend was like, "Oh, cool, you got another award." Yeah. And I had to explain, "Hey, no, this is actually a big one for me. This is really important. Here are the 5 things that I've done. I started 5 years ago reading his books. I've done all of this stuff, and this is something that's important." So just first off, telling that story and explaining what the award means to you, what the award means to your company, but then also what you did to get that is a good starting point to kind of hype it and to just explain what's going on.
And that would be in the form of text.
That'd be in the form of anything. So when I did, and we'll get into this, but one of the first things that you want to do is share on social, of course. So, I got the 2 Comma Club Award, and you want to have a cool photo, but really explain what it is and show some personality behind it and show that you care. Because if you don't care, if you're not hyped, as a salesperson, if you're not excited for the sale, they're not going to be excited.
Yeah.
So that's part of your job, is to, even if you have to fake it, is get excited with this post, and at least put effort and energy into it, and really kind of put your soul behind it. And that, obviously, if you have a big team, that can be your social media manager, and they can do that post. But then since we're talking about on social, it's not just doing that post, it's then getting people to reshare it. So if you think about influencer marketing, but it doesn't have to be paid. You can get your entire team. So we have a team of 50. So I can say, hey, guys, this is really important to us. This is a big deal. I'd like you all to reshare it. And, of course, 40 of them will because they work for you. But that's a good start. So you just went from, one post with an audience of maybe, if you're a small kind of company, maybe 2,000 people saw it. But now 40 people posted it. So now probably 20,000 people saw it. And that's just from asking your team to reshare. When I was featured on Forbes, what I did was I did a wall post on Instagram and a story post. And then I asked all my friends to screenshot the article or screenshot my post and reshare it and tag me. So I had over 100 people reshare that article, and I drove more traffic and more credibility and trust than the actual article did. But what I did was I took this credible material, and you can do this with a podcast. You can be excited about a podcast and literally anything. I took this credible thing and I used influencer marketing basically, but for free, because I just asked, this was something I was excited about and important to me. So I asked my friends, my family, my teammates, my company to all go share it. So the audience went from 2,000 readers to, for that article, 50,000 eyes, maybe 100,000 eyes on that just because of that reshare. So that is a critical piece, and I think that's some of our clients miss that part, is the excitement behind what's going on and that credibility that you have the opportunity to show to your audience.
And how to push it right. And we'll get into other facets of getting the word out there, getting the articles out there, getting the videos out there, getting the awards out there. But let's stay on social, right? So that's someone that has some friends and has some people in their circle. What if you're kind of more of an introvert and you got a couple awards, but you have one or two people and you don't have that many followers? How do you get the word out? Because if you post on social and you have 2,000 followers, maybe 800 people see it and maybe 100 people actually care, what does that person do?
Yeah, it's the same strategy, because you're still going to have, even if your team's 2 people and you have a small family, whatever it is, you're still going to have friends and family that are going to be willing to share. I would assume that if you're in business, you have some sort of network. So you'll have someone to help you with that and to share it. And if you like privacy and privacy is more important to you, you still have your company page.
Got it.
And you should have a company page. I'm assuming the people that we're talking to are at a point that they have this. So you can go through your company page and you can still ask your employees, your teammates, your friends, your contractors, customers to share it. Customers are a big thing. Obviously, you have customers if you're in business. So if you have 100 customers and you have, let's say 60 of them are delighted with your service, they absolutely love you, go ask all of them. Say, hey, this was really important to me, it was really important to the company, we've had such a great relationship, I would love if you would share this on your socials.
Okay.
Things like that. So there's always, on the social media side, there's always opportunities, and there's just so many more ways to do it.
Right. Well, staying on social, what's the longevity and lifespan of posting the same thing or the same award? Is it a month? Is it 2 months? Is it a year? How long can you just double down and do the same exact award? Talking about social, not outside of that.
So it varies. Typically, I don't repeat anything like that. So the 2 Common Club Award, I did a photo post and I did a video. I did the video on my YouTube, and I hyped the Instagram more than the YouTube, just because that's how I don't want to ask my audience to watch a video if they're not interested. That's more of SEO. That's more of, I'm trying to drive traffic there, so I have a different purpose for that. But the people that are interested would go find it. So I'll do that, but then things that I can do is in my bio, I can put 2CC. I can put that in my email signature, which I need to go do. So on my signature right now, it says, top entrepreneur featured in Forbes, Entrepreneur Inc., or whatever, something like that.
Right.
And I think it has a quote from each of those articles. But every time I send an email, someone sees that. On my Instagram bio, I have social proof and credibility. So, I'm not entrepreneur contributor, so I link to that. So I'm reusing that credibility over and over again, but I don't have to repost about it because it's just there.
Okay.
And it's there for people to see consistently, and you can do that for your company. It doesn't have to be a personal page.
And so you don't recommend someone post it every day for 2 weeks?
No, that's going to be annoying. I hate I've seen people do releases for music videos and things like that, and their Instagram is just for 4 weeks. It's the same thing about a release, and personally, I don't see that as being effective because you're hitting the same audience. I would rather make one really good post and then ask everyone to engage with that.
Your network to push it out. And I think the idea behind that is, especially with music, they probably spend $5-10 grand on it. They put so much work into it, so they feel if I post it once, it's kind of a waste of money. But it actually does the opposite. It actually turns people off.
It turns people off. That specific person, I actually blocked the notifications just because it was the same thing every time. I was very excited for them, and I wanted to see them succeed. but I didn't need to see it in my newsfeed every single day. I had already seen it, and I had already engaged in it, and I had already reshared it because I believe in helping other businesses. So past that,
it's kind of a waste of time.
I engaged in it, yeah.
Yeah, block. Jeez. All right, so that's the social. Now, what's outside of social?
Yeah. So if you have a big client list, email marketing is huge. So obviously, you're going to want to, if you do a weekly newsletter, and if you don't do a weekly newsletter, a monthly newsletter, or create a newsletter, but share it with your audience. Let your current clients know, because what's going to happen, especially in service or in product, as you build that credibility, they may have purchased from you once, but it's a great reminder. It's also, helps build that prestige of quality. So I sell supplements. Anytime we get an award, we email that to the team or to our past customers, because it first reminds them to purchase from us, but then it also reminds them of how great a product we are. So with psychology, reviews are very interesting. If you go buy something on Amazon that's 5 stars across the board and you get the product, you don't look at it that hard. You don't assume it's going to be bad. But if I go read all these negative reviews, I'll use an LG TV I bought. One of the reviews, and I would have never noticed this, but one of the reviews said that you could basically see light pointing up because when it was completely dark. And I probably would have never noticed, but because I saw that negative review, I looked for that specific flaw. And so now anytime I watch TV on it, that's all I can see. Jeez. And it's very annoying, but it's something that I'm aware of because I made myself aware of it. So if you can make your audience aware of the positivity and try to kind of mitigate that negativity with those awards and those credibility, they're going to get something and they're going to hold it and be like, this is a premium product. This is the good stuff.
Right. And so that would be shooting that out to your list.
Yeah, that would be shooting that out to your list by email, newsletter. You'll want to do a cool graphic with it. So if we did this to the newsletter, what I would do is I would have taken, JR, their co-founder, did a post. I would have taken those images, I'd put them together. I would have taken my video, maybe his video, or merge both and share that with the audience and tell everyone how excited we are, how credible this is. We're honored to receive it. And then what I would do, and here's the next step I would talk about, is a blog. So on our page, for SEO reasons, if anyone's looking to Common Club Award winners, we want to steal some of that traffic. We want to talk about, what we did to get it, but then how do you get it? So we want to provide that value back and use that credibility to drive more traffic. And that's the same thing I talked about, the University of Florida is they have blogs about their awards that they won. So if I Google, University of Florida college ranking, I don't get a third-party article. UF's blog, their site ranks over anything else, and so they're stealing that traffic and driving that traffic from that award, and they're obviously bringing more people to their site, but they're also bringing more credibility to their campaign and their trust. And so as a future potential student, I'll go Google top universities and in Florida, and then UF's page will actually rank over a lot of those sites, and then I'll see UF and I'll read about it on their site. I might do some third-party research, but I've been taken into their sales funnel in a sense.
Right. And what if you don't have a blog? And so first off, are blogs still effective in 2022? And if you don't have a blog, what's the best way to go about it real quick?
Yeah, so blogs are still very effective. SEO is still very much a real thing. It is.
And blogs tie into like backlinks and domain authority.
Yeah, blogs tie into your backlinks, domain authority, search engine optimization for you guys that are a little bit less familiar with basically how you rank on Google. And so blogs are still very effective and a critical part of your business, but it's honestly hard to do them correctly, and it's a long-term strategy. So we've invested, I don't even know how much money. One blog for us probably costs $500 to $1,000 with writing costs, publication, editing, graphics that we put in there, videos we put in there, probably even more to be honest. A blog might cost, with the time that our team puts into it, maybe $2,500 and up. But we have really good SEO, and we get clients from almost every article we put out there. So why wouldn't we? But that's, again, you can do it much more affordably. That's just because we have so many people touching it. But it's still a good strategy. But I would say that if you don't have a blog and you have a bigger business, get a blog. It's one of those things that you should just do, and do right, of course. But it's an important part of it.
You're not talking about like a newsletter, like shooting it out to your email list. You're talking about like an actual blog.
An actual blog. So again, it all fits together because, I mentioned that social post is going to go into my email newsletter, and then I would also do that YouTube video that's going to go into my email newsletter, and then I would also link to a blog that's going to be in my email. So I'm driving traffic to all these sites, and everyone has the medium that they like better, whether that be a podcast. So you could even do a podcast on it. And so as, I for audio, So I might say, hey, I want to watch the YouTube, and I don't want to go to the blog, or I want to go to the blog, but I prefer video anyway, so I land on that page, and then the video is at the top of it. So whatever that is,
Right.
you want them all to work together, and that's how a kind of full marketing strategy works. Is as you get more advanced, you'll start building in all these different channels, and they'll ideally work together very cleanly.
Gotcha. So you basically funnel everything into the newsletter and shoot it out to your list.
Yep.
Real quick, just like technical, if someone wants to start a blog, like what platform would they use? What platform does Otter use?
Yeah, so we use WordPress.
WordPress.
It's what our website's built on. It's probably one of the better ones for SEO. I know that Shopify has blogs. There's other platforms that are going to have that. I think that, as far as I know, WordPress is probably the most advanced, unless you're doing something custom, and that's going to get
Really expensive.
And just past my level of expertise. WordPress is hard enough. Yeah.
Okay, so we have social first, then we have newsletter that ties into blog, YouTube, and really everything else. What can you do outside of that to push an award?
So there's two other things that I do, and I ask the team to do. One is a press release, if it's big enough, if it makes an impact to our customers, or if we're really excited about it, if we want people to know. So we got an award for one of the best workplaces in Florida. And so we did a press release on that one, because that was really important to us, especially as a growing team. We want to bring in the best talent, so we want to bring attention to the fact that we're being awarded for being a good workplace. So that was critical for us. The other one is run more press about the success. So we typically get, and we're a PR company, so it's a little bit easier for us to pull these relationships, but that's why you would hire a PR company is, you get this award, and then you have other articles written and published about the award you got, and then you have interviews, you pull clips from the interviews that you guys did, and if you did a podcast on it, you pull clips from that, and you have those quoted, so you get more places to have that story told. And what you're doing is, first off, you're increasing your search engine optimization, you're increasing your domain authority, you're increasing your trust, but at the end of the day, you're getting more eyeballs there, more traffic, and then if someone's Googling it, best workplace, you're trying to ensure that that also ranks, whether that's going to be your website, a third-party site, or the actual award. A lot of these awards don't have the best SEO. If you Google, Scott Bartnick 2 Comma Club, all you're going to see is my stuff, the stuff that we've created about that. So that's critical, because they don't really publish that in any place. There's a cool photo, but then it would be very hard to find unless I made a big noise about it. If I hiked the story, my team is doing the work.
Messages.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about like organic people that have no idea who you are.
Right.
Right. Yeah. So let's double down on that, because that's very important, right? So obviously, we talked about last episode, the only way to really rank besides review sites is PR.
Yeah.
Right? So now you're saying when you get an award, use PR to your advantage, and then take the PR and blast it to, again, get organic traffic via SEO.
Yeah. I mean, we're just looking for any way to get people aware of what's going on. So with the 2 Comma Club, ClickFunnels didn't give us an article written about us or a landing page to share. So what we do is we'll then go pitch our story to the media. We'll get an article written about it, and then we'll use that to share. So we can, on my, which I didn't do, but on my social media post, if I wanted to link to something in my bio, I could have put that in my bio at the top, so to say, hey, go check out this article about the award, whatever it is, to get more eyeballs, or you could use your blog for that. But again, the idea is to give yourself the best opportunity to get excited, and that article could also be in your email newsletter. And so you guys see how it all kind of works together, is you're basically building this monster. So instead of if I just got that award, I got presented on stage, all the eyeballs would just been the people on stage, and they would have, there was 60 other people that got that award, so they would have just been like, oh, I think I heard Scott Bartnick's name. They didn't even say my company's name, so there wasn't a lot of recognition on site for that. I mean, I shook a couple of hands and I made my personal connections, but it wasn't a big campaign. But I've taken this, which maybe got 30 people's attention, and now I put 100,000.
Right.
And so that's a big difference.
And that's what people want, right?
Right.
Like organic traffic for any business, doesn't matter if you're a PR company or you're selling donuts, like you want your SEO organic traffic, like zero money down, it's basically like free referrals.
Yeah,
essentially.
absolutely.
Because you're not paying for that traffic. It doesn't say ad at the top of Google.
Exactly, and the best part is you're taking the credibility of wherever you're using it. So for us, Russell Brunson, 2 Comma Club, ClickFunnels, has a lot of credibility and trust, especially in the community of entrepreneurs. And so you're taking that and you're resharing it. So I even have the photo that I got to take with them. It's on my wall. So anyone that walks by who knows, who's in that community, is like, oh, these guys are legit. Yeah. I've used it in sales calls. I said, oh yeah, I just, received this award because I noticed that your website was built on ClickFunnels. So we get to reuse that credibility. The same thing with Featured on Entrepreneur. I have a plaque next to my desk that says a couple of top features that I've gotten. So and that's another place you can do it. You can literally just do it in your office. I mean, people hang their diploma. Why wouldn't you hang up the awards you got and make sure that you get them made? So a lot of companies don't even, like with 2 Comma Club, we get a big physical award. It came in today, so I'm excited to see it. But a lot of places you'll get put into a publication like the top places to work, but they didn't send us a physical award. There's no reason why you can't invest in that and spend $200 and get yourself a nice physical award. You've already won it. You're just now being able to physically show it off. So it's just another way to hype that and get people aware. So when people, we're right now in a co-working space, we're about to move to our building, but if you have clients come in, you have customers come in, you have potential employees come in, they're going to see all these plaques and awards and they notice them.
Yeah, no, for sure. And it kind of just makes everything look better. It's trust, essentially, right? Like getting verified, having press, having pictures with, celebrities. At the end of the day, it's all trust, right? So the people that are looking at you, Googling you, that's going to have a higher conversion. People that don't know who you are going to at least discover you. And the people that do know who you are, but maybe aren't ready to pull the trigger, that's going to be the differentiation of them doing yes versus no.
Yeah.
Right? Like I always tell people, if I have a picture of Elon Musk with me and Elon Musk hugging each other behind me, and you have no idea who I am, at very least you're going to think I'm somewhat important, right? And the same thing with Russell Brunson, and especially in the entrepreneur, e-commerce, online business. So like Russell Brunson is the Elon Musk of that thing. So it's definitely pretty remarkable and very rare to get. The last thing I want to ask is, what do you see entrepreneurs do wrong when they do get awards or get featured in Cosmo or Forbes? What do you see that a lot of people do wrong, and then maybe they're leaving a lot of money on the table?
The biggest thing they do wrong is they do nothing. They expect
people to just come to them.
Yeah, so I always assumed that if I got featured in Forbes, I would have made it. And that just the act of being featured would then, everything would fall in line. And it had nothing to do with the being featured. It was the fact that I used the credibility. So you're given a gift. You're being put on a podcast with whoever the best person in the world is for this, and they're going to recommend you. You're given literally a gift of credibility and trust. They're giving it to you. But if you don't take it and use it, it's completely worthless. And I think that, we'll have clients come in and we'll have massive success for them. We'll go viral. We'll have, literally thousands of placements. And they'll say, well, I just really didn't see the return. And I'm like, okay, well, do you have a press page? Have you put this in your signature? Have you sent this out to your email? Have you put this on social? And when they say no to all of that, I'm like, so your audience didn't see it at all?
Yeah.
You're telling me that none of your audience, you didn't make this evident to your hot shoppers, to the people that already had buyer intent. And they're like, no, I thought it would just, magically make me more money. No, nothing is. I think that's the biggest mistake is PR with everything else, the SEO, they're all strategies. So you have to build on them. So it's like email marketing. Just because you send an email doesn't mean it's going to do anything for you. But if you make this email really good and you put quality in there, you link to blogs, you're adding resources and value, and you send that out to the same 10 people, whatever that is, you're going to do better. So it's, how much effort do you put behind it?
Right. Yeah, you can't just expect to be on the cover of Forbes and then just wait for people to run in and say, I can't wait to buy from you. You have to do a little bit more.
Well, even cover of Forbes is a great example. Even if you were on the cover of Forbes, sure, you'll definitely get some sales from that. I mean, that's huge and incredible. Congratulations. But what you would do then is you would frame that cover of Forbes. You would hang that on your wall. You'd put that in your email signature. It depends on, obviously, if you're on the cover, you're probably already pretty big.
Yeah, probably don't need an extra couple sales.
But you would use it. They would run full campaigns. You would run ads about it. You would walk by park benches or bus. You'd go by a bus and you'd see the cover with you on it. That's what people do. They spend millions of dollars behind that to then amplify it. So if I'm on the cover of Forbes, I am putting that on a bus, on a sign, whatever I'm doing. Billboard, I'm using it. And that's the thing is you're being given a gift and you need to then amplify and use it to convert. At a minimum, you have a featured in section on your website, you put in your email signature and you do an email campaign. If you're not doing that, you're leaving yourself so much opportunity on the table. We didn't mention LinkedIn, but LinkedIn, especially for B2B, thought leadership, it's a huge place. It takes 5 minutes to take a paragraph out of that, rewrite some of it, summarize it, and to put a link to it. At a very minimum, you should do that, and then ask 5 people to reshare it. that's your minimum where you need to do is LinkedIn. I would say if I was only going to tell you to do two things and it was B2B, it'd be LinkedIn and a blog, and get people to reshare it.
Wow, gotcha. If you don't use it, you're going to lose it.
Yeah.
That's the way it goes. All right, Scott. Listen, I could talk to you forever. Any last words you want to say to the audience, and then how do people find you?
So you can find me on Instagram, Found Scott, or reach out to autopr.com, and we'll help you out with whatever you guys need.
Cool. Any last words for the listeners?
That's it.
That's it. All right, from Scott to Justin, Justin to Scott, this is the Scaling Secret Podcast, and we're out. Bye-bye, y'all.